Hello and welcome back to Catherine's Couch. We're so legit. Let's just give it up for the mic stand. I'm so excited about this. I want it to be hands-free, honestly, for coffee. Like, I don't have coffee right now, but I'm going to be recording a lot of these. I think I'm recording 4 this week. I'm the maid of honor at my friend's wedding, and we're going to be gone for like 2 weeks, so I want to get these recorded so that you don't have to wait. Anyway, today on Catherine's Couch, we are discussing you don't find yourself, you notice yourself. I'm currently 30. This is my last Monday as a 30-year-old, and there's no better way for me to cap off the first year of a new decade like talking about my hierarchy of self-love needs. You know how there's Maslow's hierarchy of needs? I think of there are these hierarchy of needs in regards to self. In order to get to other steps, you have to first know yourself. We're going to be talking about how you can follow the light of yourself, how you notice yourself, why it's a little harder than it may sound, and what happens when you stop looking. Everybody gives the advice that you have to find yourself, but nobody seems to be able to explain how to do this. I don't like the advice of finding yourself because I feel like finding yourself assumes there's this hidden possibility of losing yourself, which I don't believe in, or at least for me, it's made me feel more hopeless and more lost in the past. Whereas kind of like rumination, you can endlessly be searching for something. And I know I have felt a lot of my 20s, I felt like I was endlessly searching for clarity. And I thought that would happen to me if I could make myself fit what clarity looked like. I thought by studying what clarity looked like for other people, I myself could mask my way into it. And clarity came to me when I stopped distracting myself and when I sat in the discomfort of focusing on who I am and what I have already. That's a lot of what I mean by finding yourself isn't applicable. Noticing yourself is where we're going to get started. So in order to do this, you need to do what I like to call follow the light. Every single person is a light. I know we sang that song, This Little Light of Mine, when I was younger in CCD, and it comes to mind when we talk about this practice. I would argue that you need to have some sort of faith to understand this. Whatever faith or spirituality looks like for you, it is imperative that you have that to do this, because you have to be able to see the world for all of the beautiful mystery that it is. You have to be able to understand that you will never fully understand so much of the universe. You have to feel humble in that presence. At least that's how I have come here. And every single person inherently has a light within them. Every single person's soul beams so bright. And the art of noticing that beam will lead you to who you are if you can follow the reflections of its light. We think about social media, we think about how we can build our own identity. And I think there's a lot of identity building that we do in our lives. And I think, at least for me, that has been confusing because I have thought in the past, if I'm able to construct who I am, who I want people to see me as, then I should be able to construct all the parts of me. Whereas you add on to yourself are all things that are built off of that core shining light. Who you are at your core is something that you cannot change. It is something beautiful and unique and worthy of being noticed, being seen, being treasured, being shared. Follow that light and it will lead you to a life that makes you happy. I know I'm not the only person who has chosen things based off of how they look. Any decision I have made based off of what I perceive others to think of me and not based off of the light within me, those decisions have never fit me. I've always felt like I'm like a square peg in a round hole because those weren't coming from my true wants and desires. They weren't coming from the real me. If you haven't sat with your real wants and needs, you need to spend time with yourself without distraction. How to do that is journal, walk. I'm someone who I love lyrics and music, feel like they are speaking out to me. So I'll daydream. So to me, music is not distracting. It helps add to the experience of how I'm feeling. I did the Artist Way right before I turned 30, and I recommend it to everybody. It was so incredible for me. And the Artist Way talks about morning pages, which are basically every day you write 3 pages of just how you're thinking. And I did them in little moleskin notebooks, and you just get it out. And you get it out for the point of getting it out, for spending time with yourself. Instead of trying to find something that you think will feel good, you need to sit with how you feel inside. And I know that can feel scary and uncomfortable, but you can do things that are scary and the discomfort will pass. All the discomfort that has ever happened to you before has passed. You've survived it. And that's the joy and the beauty of this. Time will pass regardless. Why not spend the time doing what is one of the most important things as a young adult? Spending time with who you are, noticing who you are, all of your quirks. Sit with yourself. The self you notice may not be the self that you would want. I know for me, I have wanted to not be like myself a lot in life. Garden, we were asked what we wanted to do when we were older, and all I wanted to be was busy. I wanted to be this hardworking person, and I thought that that had to look a certain way. There have been countless times I've sat in manager meetings where my personality has been described as like too bubbly and too friendly and not managerial enough. I have been too much more times than I can count. And I've spent a lot of time wishing and hoping that wishing would change the ball of energy that I live with in life. A lot of parts of me don't fit quietly and don't fit neatly. And for a lot of my life and a lot of my 20s, I unpacked how there isn't just one way to be successful in life and busy. For so long, I thought, oh, I can't be busy if I'm not this buttoned up certain way. Well, I'm laid off. I do not have a job right now, and I am busier than I've ever been in life. I work harder than I've ever worked in my life, and I'm working harder with me. For a lot of my 20s, I was working to strengthen my weaknesses, which is great in being well-rounded. However, I also have strengths, and I think when you sit with who you are and what you want and when you dream, I never wanted the life I thought I did. I wanted this, and sitting and understanding that I wanted this, it didn't end me. It actually encouraged me. I had to let go of the fantasy that there is a better version of me that isn't me. And in its place became this lantern that turned into a lighthouse of finding a life that aligns with the best, happiest, most all caps me. Every moment of time I have spent with myself has been so worthwhile and so fulfilling. I have had more fun with me than I could ever have otherwise. I think the core of my self-love journey, core of all self-love, is in noticing and making space to sit with the self that you are inside. Trusting that you are here for a reason, we're all here for a reason, that whatever you believe in, you live right now. You're alive. You are you. There is no one alive who is you than you. And that is so cool. And that is so true. And the clarity that you've been chasing is guided by the intuition of your own life. Have everything you've ever needed. It's the coolest part of life. My challenge for you this week is to start your own morning pages. Every morning when you get up, take time to write 3 pages of how you're feeling. Just write. Spend 1 hour this week doing something with no audience. Maybe that's painting. I painted and it was really fun. Maybe it's playing a video game, a real game, something. Maybe it's biking, maybe it's running, maybe it's walking. No audience, just yourself. Practice being your own audience. Make your own self comfortable. Practice validating it and see how you feel. If you're more of a visual learner, watch Soul on Disney+. I watched that last year before I turned 30, and it does a really beautiful job at sharing a soul journey, something I think everyone could benefit from seeing. I'm going to leave you here for now, wherever this finds you. If no one has told you yet today, let me be the first to say, you're always on time for your own life. I love you very much. I'll talk to you next week. Bye.